So on September 30th, 2021, I had cataract surgery performed in both eyes on the same day. I went ahead and got the PanOptix trifocal lenses implanted in both eyes. Uh, I had done a really extensive research beforehand, and I had looked at all of the different options: monofocal lenses, extended depth of field lenses, as well as the trifocal lenses. And of course, I probably ended up watching thousands, literally thousands of YouTube videos, or listened to uh, as I was driving. I drive a truck over the road, so I listen to a lot of these videos that are actually listenable, where they're kind of talking about cataract surgery and all kinds of different eye problems that can occur. And they talk about dyspatopsias that might happen with trifocal lenses. And many of these people will say, well, if you drive a lot, you don't want to get a trifocal lens or trifocal lenses, because you can experience rings around pinpoints of light at night. And that actually is true. Uh, but this is my experience so far. It's been, at this point, a bit over a week since I had the surgery. I had my post-op appointment yesterday, on the 8th of October, and I've got my left eye has never been quite as correctable as the right one. The right one's always been the strongest. The right one is also my dominant eye. In the dominant eye, she said I was corrected to better. This is, through the testing, better than 2015 in the right eye, which really surprised me. And the left one is currently corrected to about 2025. And that's about as good as it's ever been at any point, even when I was younger. That's about as good as that it's ever been in either eye. I think the right one maybe had been in the past corrected to about 2020. So, in other words, my vision is as good as it's ever been with any kind of correction. And this goes back to, you can go back to when I was younger. I'm 66 years old at this point. But the really remarkable thing about the trifocal lenses, and I can only speak to the PanOptix lenses, because that's actually what I have implanted in both eyes. The remarkable thing is I can see very well close up. I can see, if provided if I've got enough light, I can see incredibly small things that maybe I might have been able to see, when I was 25, without glasses. See, because I was always nearsighted, like -3 and -3 1/4. So if you're nearsighted, you're myopic. In other words, you can, maybe the things off in the distance are a little blurry, but you can see really well close up. And but I've lost that ability over the ensuing years, of course, because of presbyopia, and now I have it back. So as far as the trifocal, they talk about, with trifocal lenses, they talk about the brain having to adapt to seeing the three images projected on the retina at the same time. Well, that may be true, and I'm sure it is true for some people, but for whatever reason, I have not I have not had to go through any kind of adaptation period at all. I was able to, once the kind of the first 48 hours passed, I had pretty decent vision in both eyes once I was post 48 hours after the operation, and it's just remarkable because from my point of view, I'm seeing from close up out to infinity, and everything is very sharp and clear, and that's really remarkable to me. Now, as far as let's say dyspatopsias go, and what a dyspatopsia is just a fancy word for a visual. That's just a visual artifact. I have on certain occasions while driving at night, I've noticed on certain lights, it doesn't happen with all of them, but with certain lights, and I haven't figured out, maybe it's the color of the light, or maybe it's just the style of the light, or it's not necessarily the intensity of the light, but with certain lights, I will see sort of a ghostly version of the ring structure, and I believe that ring structure actually mimics the structure of the PanOptix lenses, because they have the PanOptix, as well as other multifocal lenses, have concentric rings. So, in other words, you've got this little central area, and then you've got rings or sort of raised ridges surrounding it, and that is actually what creates the different layers of focus, if you can, and that may not be the proper term, but with PanOptix lens, you've got let's say that you got so many centimeters, and then you've got so many more centimeters for intermediate vision, and then you've got the distance vision. And so each one of these rings is kind of creating an image, and all of the images are projected onto the retina. And so in my case, it's working just unbelievably beyond my wildest dreams. Now, I had tried to search the internet as well as YouTube for, because I'm an over-the-road truck driver. Obviously I rely on, good functional vision. And so I didn't know, I kept seeing these recommendations. Oh, you should just, if you're going to be a truck driver, if you're driving a lot at night, especially, you just need to go for monofocal lenses. Well, with both being set for distance, so you can get the very best distance vision. And while that may be true for some people, in my case, the multifocal lenses are working out beautifully, and I've already, since the surgery, I've already gone back to work, and I've driven a fair number of hours at this point at night, and I've got excellent contrast sensitivity. I'm seeing, like I say, I'm seeing better than I have in years, and maybe my memory's faded a little bit. I am 66 years old. However, that being said, I believe my vision is as good as it has ever been, maybe even better than when I was younger. So, but of course I had to, prior to this, I had to use either contact lenses, soft contact lenses, or glasses. And now, of course, I'm, because basically the prescription is implanted in the intraocular lenses, I'm essentially prescription free and don't need to carry, reading glasses around anymore, or any kind of regular glasses, unless I, just maybe sunglasses. And that's about it, at least at the present. So, in my case, it worked, it couldn't have worked out any better. Now, I think there are several things that have given me this good result. One of the 95% of it, I believe, is the surgeon that I chose, as well as the surgeon's staff, because the staff is doing they're doing most of the work, and then the surgeon himself was the one that actually did the surgery, and I was responsible for maybe 5% of the outcome, possibly. And when I say that, they tell you do not wear I will always wear periodically. I would wear either glasses or soft contact lenses. They told me do not wear your glasses, for at least the contact lenses for at least a week prior to the surgery, and so or even to the pre-op exam. And so I had watched those videos from YouTube. I knew, don't do that, because even the soft contact lenses can end up deforming your cornea enough so that the measurements that they're taking for the possible intraocular lens implants, it can throw them off, and that's not good. You want it to be as accurate as possible. So I stopped wearing my contact lenses a week prior to the pre-op appointment. So that was basically one of the little parts that I did. The other part is, I'm using the eye drops, and that they prescribed at the pre-op appointment. They prescribed eye drops. So one was an antibiotic, the other is basically like a steroidal anti-inflammatory drop. And so you start those like three or so days prior to the surgery. I went to the pre-op on Monday. Surgery was on Thursday, and then I've continued with the drops since then. And now, so they're having me. It's a little bit. I did go to the post-op yesterday, the 1 week post-op appointment, and the gal told me to go ahead and stop the antibiotic drops, stop taking those, and then or using those, and then drop the. I'm going to be tapering off with the steroid drops, the anti-inflammatory drops. So, but 95% of the outcome, I really believe, falls back on the surgeon and the team that the surgeon has surrounded himself with. Now, I ended up going to, I live in northwest Arkansas, so I ended up going to, there's a Dr. Vold Vision in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I had watched their YouTube channel, watched a bunch of the videos, and I kind of gained confidence through watching those videos. I gained confidence in Dr. Vold and the team that he surrounded himself with. And so that gave me confidence as to which doctor, which surgeon, which organization I should go to. And I have to admit, I was impressed with with Vold Vision, because they've got great people. They've got all the latest technology as far as eye measuring devices. They've got all the latest technology. They're using the femtosecond laser in conjunction with the cataract surgery, and they're using as something called an ORA measuring system that actually measures the lens strength that is needed once the cataract lens has been removed during the surgery. So they're actually measuring the eye during the surgery to get the most accurate result possible. The femtosecond laser is also critical, because it can create really perfect incisions. It pre-breaks up the cataract lens, and this is before the surgeon ever does the manual part of the surgery, it breaks that up, and what that enables to happen is the femtosecond laser can create a perfectly circular capsule. It's called a capsulorhexis, and that's the opening that in the front bag that holds the natural biological lens that is now a cataract because it becomes cloudy. That capsulorhexis enables. It's a very critical, probably the most critical part of the surgery. It enables the surgeon's instruments to go in and kind of suck out the cataract material, and also it is really critical in helping hold the new lens, the new artificial lens, in place. The artificial lenses, of course, are generally they're made out of different types of acrylic material, kind of a plastic acrylic type stuff. So in any case, the femtosecond laser, I believe, is really, really critical, even though some surgeons like to still do that, all of the surgery manually, as far as incisions, etc. The femtosecond laser can make perfect incisions, perfect circle every time, and that's adjusted by the surgeon. Now, you want a surgeon that's performed thousands and thousands of surgeries. You don't want, I know everybody has to learn to do something. You have people going through truck driving school. They've got to learn how to drive a truck. I understand that, but me as a patient, I don't want that guy. I want somebody that's probably, in the case of an ophthalmologist, typically they're about 30 years old once they've gone through all of the training and the residency and what have you, and they can put out their shingle and open up their business. They're 30 years old, so you probably want somebody that's about 50, somewhere in their 50s. They're going to be at the peak. They're probably their peak of their performance as far as they've got lots of experience, done thousands of surgeries, surgical procedures, and they're still, in their 50s. They're probably still very steady as far as not being shaky, because we do, as we age, we just can't hold our hands as steadily. We can't control ourselves. We can't, or as far as our hand movements, we do become more shaky. That's just a fact of age. It's that's the way it is. So you probably want the surgeon to be in his or her 50s. You want them to be using all of the latest measuring technology. You want them to be able to have that femtosecond laser to do that portion of the surgery, make the incisions for them, and then of course the doctor determines exactly where to place that before he initiates the laser, the femtosecond laser. The doctor is in control of that, how big the capsulorhexis should be, that opening in the front, and then that breaks up the lens, kind of pre-softens it up, pre-breaks it up. And then when the doctor is doing the manual part of the surgery, the incisions are already there for him or her to work with, and they still have to use they can use significantly less ultrasound energy during the surgery, because that's what they typically use, is ultrasound, in order to break up the cataract lens. Once it's pre-softened with the femtosecond laser, as it's making the incisions, then the surgeon goes in with the ultrasound probe and it doesn't have to use as much energy. And that is really beneficial because then less trauma is done to the eye, and so therefore the eye is able to heal much faster. It really helps with speed the healing process in a significant way. As I said, 48 hours later, I went back to work after having cataract surgery performed on both eyes the same day. Okay, now the other significant portion of the, once the cataract is removed from the eye, then the doctor should be able to use this ORA machine, and I'm sorry I don't remember what the acronym stands. That's an acronym, ORA. I don't remember what it stands for, but in any case, this machine is basically a computerized machine that they place on the eye, and once the cataract is removed, and then it takes about 40 different internal eye measurements just within a few seconds. It makes these measurements internally, and it's the most accurate because there's no cataract lens in the way to interfere with the measurements. And then this software, the Aura software, makes a recommendation as to lens strength. Which lens should they use? And it can be made very precise. And so then that's why the doctor can end up with a 90 to 95% at least 20/20 outcome. Once the patient's eyes have healed at post-surgery, they can end up with an extremely high outcome of 20/20 or more in the majority of patients. So all of these things are critical, and then the other thing that's really critical with the trifocal lenses is that they have to be very precisely placed in the eye, and that you really need a surgeon that knows what they're doing, that has done thousands of these, that can show you his statistical outcomes, and he or she has a really good idea of exactly where to place that lens within the pupil. Every eye is different. Even in the same person, you come with two eyes, and even within one person, the eyes are different, and then you have differences between individual to individual to individual. So the doctor has to be able to, I think a lot of it comes through experience. They know what to, kind of exactly where to place that lens. And as I say, with the trifocal lens, it is especially important that be placed properly. So all of these things go together in order to make for great outcomes. And then, so that's why I say, I'm responsible for about 5% of the quality of the outcome, because I didn't wear the contact lenses 1 week prior to the pre-op evaluation, and then I stick to the eye drops after the fact, and then the rest of it is all on the doctor and the doctor's team, because the doctor is relying on his team in order to kind of evaluate the patients, make sure their eyes are healthy. You should not implant trifocal lenses if you've got, generally speaking, if you've got other you've got the presence of other eye pathologies. Let's say you've got retina problems, macular problems, like a glaucoma type problem. You should just go for monofocal lenses probably. Consult with your doctor. But most doctors are going to, in the presence of any other kind of eye problem, they're going to say just probably stick with the monofocal lens. However, if you want to go for the trifocal, and your eye's healthy, find a doctor that you have confidence in. Find someone that's done thousands and thousands, maybe, who knows how many thousands of procedures, surgical procedures, and cataract procedures, and then make sure they're embracing all of the latest technology, and make sure that they actually statistically have at least a 90 to 95% outcome of 20/20 or more. And then chances, that's still not going to eliminate. Every surgery has a potential for risk. And this includes cataract surgeries. Cataract surgery does have a small inherent risk in it that there could be complications. But that being said, it is the most widely performed surgery, certainly in the United States. It's the most widely performed surgery in the world at large. And it has become one of the very safest procedures, surgical procedures, that you can have done. So, but if you take all of those things into account, you're probably going to end up with a good outcome. But at the same time, I really do believe that you should be educated, and that's why once I realized I was going to be getting cataract surgery, it was kind of imminent. That's why I began watching all of these videos and researching. But the thing was, I couldn't. If you look for testimonials, you're going to find all kinds of testimonials, and it's rightly so. They're sponsored by the different optical companies like Alcon and Bausch and Lomb and whatever the other ones are. They've got their sponsored videos. If you look on Google and you type in like surgical outcome, let's say truck driver, or like in my case, truck driver, trifocal lens, you're still going to end up with, you're not going to end up with what you're looking for. You're going to end up with, like your local eye doctor's thing. Those are going to be the top search results. The other thing that you could end up with, if you dig deep enough and you got the right search term, you're going to find people that have had problems. And, you go looking there, you're going to find problems with people that have had that they've had trouble with PanOptix lenses, they've had trouble with trifocal lenses, they've had trouble with extended depth of field lenses, even with monocular lenses. Like the wrong, maybe it's they put in the wrong power of monocular lens. That happens. It happens. And so you're going to find. If you go looking, you're going to find all kinds of people out on the internet. If you dig deep enough, you're going to find people that have had problems. And that there are problems with that have been with cataract surgery. There's been problem outcomes with LASIK surgery, etc., etc., etc. So I really believe that doctors are useful people. They're absolutely necessary. We need doctors. We need surgeons. But here's the difference. You can't look at these people as if they're gods. They put their pants on one leg at a time, or they put their dress on, the same way any other person, woman would. They're not gods. But the problem is people tend to look, they reverence them and they respect them, which is fine and dandy, but I see far too many people that sort of live and breathe on every little word the doctor says, and the doctor prescribes a pill, and it's like there's some sort of it's like a magic potion, and it's not. So the way I look at doctors, and I have for years, at best, if you think about it, and this may seem a little cruel, but at best they're like used car mechanics. With the body is basically a used car, and often it's abused. I I haven't lived the cleanest lifestyle, so often it's an abused used car, and some used car mechanics are pretty good, and some are not so good. Some have good days, and some have bad days, and it just happens. And so you have to approach it that way. So, but I wanted to put this video up, and so particularly if there are any truck drivers that are out there that are really concerned, should I just go? I'm going to have cataract surgery. Should I go for monocular lenses in both eyes that are set for distance? And that is a possibility. And it's certainly something that I considered, but now that I've got these trifocal lenses, I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was expensive. I had to pay for the procedure completely out of my pocket. Even though I'm 66 years old, I'm not on Medicare Part B, and Medicare Part B here in the U.S. will pay for monocular lens implants. They won't pay for so-called premium lenses. Premium lenses include trifocal lenses or extended depth of field lenses. Anything other than just the basic lens is the patient has to pay for that. Beyond that, so I'm not on Medicare Part B. So I paid for this completely out of my pocket, and I'm happy to do so. Absolutely happy to do so. So it is an expensive procedure, and but in my mind it was worth every penny, because I can see distance, I can see intermediate. Like when I'm driving my truck, I can look down and I can see the screen and the LCD screen in the truck dash. I can see the GPSs. I have 2 GPSs in my truck. I can see both of those easily. I can see, and if I'm stopped and I'm doing paperwork, I can have the paperwork right in front of my face. Not a problem. Don't need before I was always, I always had these stupid reading glasses kind of hanging around my neck, and I was always, taking them on, putting them, on and off, on and off, on and off. Or if I was wearing my regular glasses, I wasn't wearing contact lenses, and then the glasses, the regular eyeglasses were on and off constantly. And now I don't have to worry about that. It's just it's made me more efficient. So, but like I say, if it's up to you to decide. But I wanted to put this video out there. I do plan on making future updates. I've got to go back to work actually today, and I'll be gone for about back at work probably for about a month. And I have my next, I have a 1 month post-op appointment in about a month, and so. And from all the videos that I've watched, they say it takes the eyes about the eye's been operated on, like with cataract surgery, it takes about, let's say, about a month for the eye to completely heal. So my eyes are still in the process of healing, even though the eye is one of the quickest healing portions of the body. It still takes a while, and so things are still settling down. So I plan on making some future updates about this, and kind of let you know how things are progressing. But as of right now, it's just incredible. It really is incredible that a little over a week after this operation, I'm seeing as good as I've ever been able to see, with correction. And of course now I don't need any kind of correction. The correction is implanted in my eyes in the form of the trifocal lenses. Now, by the way, the little circles, the little rings, the little ghostly rings that I have seen a few of at night surrounding certain lights, some people are bothered by that. I'm not bothered in the least by it. It doesn't bother me in a bit. So, because my vision has never been perfect. I've always seen, I've always had all kinds of floaters, which I still have the floaters. But, I had floaters when I was a kid, so I just kind of ignore them. I know some people can really be put off by them. Some people can really be bothered by them. So I think in part that depends on your personality and how kind of nitpicky you are. But the floaters have never bothered me. So I've, because of the floaters, even when, prior to cataracts, when I would look at a bright light, let's say a street light at night, I could see, sort of hard to describe, but I could see sort of the little floaters, almost like little particles as well as the bigger pieces. I could sort of really pick them out looking at a bright light, like a point light source. And certainly it's something like a light-colored computer screen. But like I say, I kind of got used to it, and it's really no big deal. So I just, they're just unless I'm looking for them, I don't even really notice them. So anyway, wanted to put this video out there, and especially if there are other truck drivers. Yes, trifocal lenses can work for you. Not a guarantee. Just because they work so well for me, that doesn't mean that they're going to work that well for everyone. Kind of buyer beware. But and I took a little bit of a risk doing this. Both eyes in the same day. Trifocal lenses to boot, but the results are incredible.